Revelation 1, verse 10, I was in the Spirit on the Lord's day. What is the Lord's day referring to? The Bible makes it quite plain. Zephaniah 1, verse 14 and 15. The great day of the Lord is near. It is near and hasteth greatly, even the voice of the day of the Lord. The mighty man shall cry there bitterly. That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness. It's the day of the Lord, the day of God's wrath. And if you read Isaiah 34, 8 and 61, verse 2, that's Isaiah 34, verse 8 and 61, verse 2, it implies that the day of the Lord will be 1 year, a year of the Lord's wrath and punishment on mankind. Now go to Joel 2, verse 11. This is very interesting. And the Lord shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great, for he is strong that executeth his word. For the day of the Lord is great and very terrible, and who can abide it? In other words, it's so bad, who can abide it? Compare with Revelation 6, verse 17. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? Now here's where it becomes obvious. Joel 2, verse 31. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before the great and the terrible day of the Lord come. Got it? Sun into darkness, moon into blood, right before the day of the Lord. Revelation 6, verse 12. And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. We learned from Joel that when that happens, the day of the Lord is coming. And that's exactly right. And then what follows after this is the seventh seal and the seven trumpets of the day of the Lord. So when it says I was in the Spirit on the Lord's day, it should say I was in the Spirit during the day of the Lord. The Lord's day is the day of the Lord. Compare, once again, go compare Joel 2, verse 11 with Revelation 6, verse 17, and Joel 2:31 with Revelation 6, verse 12. It's the time of God's wrath. It's not referring to Sunday or the Sabbath. Peace all.